The Premier League restart continues with match week number 33. Yo guys, what is up? It's Premier League Official here, and today we're continuing the series on my channel, which is preview and prediction. Right, these are my predictions for the Premier League last episode. These are my FA Cup predictions due to the fact it was the quarter-final of the FA Cup last week. This is my predicted table. As you can see, there's probably a couple of shocks in there. There normally is with me, let's be honest. These are the actual results for the Premier League, as are these. There was a few absolute shockers in there, as you can see. And these are the FA Cup results. This is how the table actually looks, with Bournemouth now in 19th, West Ham now looks safe, and Sheffield United up to 7th. In the Premier League I got 3 correct outcomes but no exact results again, which is poor. And the same goes to the FA Cup. I got 3 correct outcomes but no exact results, which isn't great. Right, game 1 is Norwich versus Brighton. Norwich look really poor. They look like they're relegated already. They aren't, but they practically are. I'll be astonished if they stay up. But if they are to stay up, they need to win these games. These games are must-wins, but will they? I'm really not confident in them at all. And I feel like relegation is on the cards. As for Brighton, yes, they lost 3-0 at home to an informed Man United. As disappointing as that is, they've actually had a really good restart. And I feel like that good form will continue into this game. And they could probably score quite a few goals here as well, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going for Norwich 0, Brighton 2. Right, Leicester versus Crystal Palace next. Leicester were better in the second half against Everton. It's probably the best they've played since the restart. However, they were really poor in the first half and they need points desperately, otherwise that top 4 will slip away and they'll be resigned to Europa League depending on Man City's European ban. As for Palace, they picked up a poor result as well, losing 1-0 at home to Burnley, which pretty much kills their Europa League hopes. However, if they were to get something here, it could be back on. However, I think it will be difficult against the Leicester side trying to prove themselves as a top 4 team. That's why I go for Leicester 2, Palace 1. Right, next up is Man United versus Bournemouth. And there was rumour before this game that Pogba and Fernandes were out. However, I believe that's fake news. I'm not 100% confident in that, but I think that's fake news. And if these two are playing and linking up well, then United will be laughing. They will crush the Cherries, I'm confident of that. And I feel like they will play exquisite football as they normally do. As for Bournemouth, they look dire. They look absolutely terrible. They lost 4-1 at home to a Newcastle side who'd been tired after an FA Cup game. It isn't good enough. I feel like they will not get anything here. They need points, but it's not going to come here, and I think they might be in for a bit of a thrashing. That's why I've gone for Man United 4, Bournemouth 0. Next game is Wolves versus Arsenal. Wolves are a really good side. They picked up a really good result away at Aston Villa, picking up a 1-0 win. All in all, played very well, and I feel like if they play like that, they'll beat Arsenal. Again, I feel like they could get something here with Traore and Jimenez firing and linking up well. As for Arsenal, they're playing better than they were when they started the restart. They really weren't that good, but they picked up a 4-0 win against Norwich with Aubameyang back on the score sheet, which is massive for them. I feel like they may struggle here due to their defensive woes against a very good attacking Wolves side. That's why I've gone for Wolves 3, Arsenal 1. Next up is Chelsea versus Watford. Chelsea are a very inconsistent side. It's been their theme of the entire season, really. One week they beat Man City 2-1 at home, which is a fantastic result. The next they go away to West Ham and lose 3-2. So you can never really tell with Chelsea. They're a bit of a mixed bag. However, they do need to respond here if they're going to get top 4. As for Watford, they picked up a poor result against Southampton, losing 3-1 at home, which will not help their relegation cause at all. They need wins if they're going to stay up in this league, and they're nowhere near safe at the minute. However, I don't think it's going to come here away at Chelsea. So that's why I'm going for Chelsea 2, Watford 0. Next is Burnley versus Sheffield United. Burnley picked up a good result away against Crystal Palace, 1-0 win. They could get into your Europa League spot, and this game against Sheffield United is massive. If they beat them, they stand a good chance. However, I think they could struggle against the Sheffield United side, who played very well at the weekend. As I was saying, Sheffield United was very good at the weekend. Very unexpected victory, winning 3-1 at home against Spurs, which is massive for them. Going above Spurs into 7th, which is huge. I think they might get another win here, and I feel like they will keep that push for Europa League football alive. Burnley 0, Sheffield United 1. Next is Newcastle versus West Ham. Now, Newcastle were very, very, very good away at Bournemouth. 4-1 was a bit generous to Bournemouth. I think Newcastle could have had about 5 or 6 on another day. And I feel like they will play well again here. However, they are playing against the West Ham side, still fighting for survival. So it could be a close, tense match between the two. As for West Ham, they picked up a really good result against Chelsea. I think it could be a result pivotal to the Hammers' potential survival in the Premier League this season. I feel like they could get a decent result here. It'll be difficult to win away at Newcastle, hence why you'll see what my scoreline will be in just a second. I'm saying Newcastle 1, West Ham 1. Next is Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Now, Liverpool got absolutely humbled against the former champions Man City, and I feel like they will need some sort of response to let people know who the real champions are. However, it will not be easy against the Aston Villa side, again fighting for survival. Aston Villa weren't terrible against Wolves at home. However, you could tell they were leagues apart in terms of the quality Wolves have. I feel like they could potentially get something at Anfield here, depending how Liverpool play. However, if I'm being realistic, Villa will probably be resigned to lose here. So I'm going for Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 1. Next up is Southampton versus Man City. This man is one hell of a striker. Danny Ings has been really good this season. And if he's firing against Man City, who knows, Southampton could pick up a result here. He played very well against Watford, scoring twice, I believe. I think it was twice, yeah. And he's really much in the golden boot shout, so fair play to him. As for Man City, wow, 4-0 against Liverpool was just incredible. They played really, really well, played some excellent football. I feel like that could continue here. I don't think it'll be as easy considering Southampton are playing very well at the minute. However, I do think they will pick up a result here, a positive one. Southampton 1, Man City 3. And finally is Spurs versus Everton. Spurs are worryingly bad. They're in a bad situation. I think they're 8th or 9th at the minute, which is really poor. I feel like they will need to bounce back after a damaging defeat against Sheffield United. Could it happen here? I'm not so sure. Everton are playing quite well recently. Speaking of Everton, they picked up a vital 3 points against Leicester, winning 2-1. Probably could have had more, but then again at the end of the game they were quite lucky to win the game. Leicester probably could have equalised. However, I feel like they might turn up to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium here and play very well, play some good football on a Monday night. So who knows? I'm going for Spurs 2, Everton 2. Quite an entertaining game. And this is how the table would look if those fixtures were to turn out this way. Norwich will be 7 points from safety, which is a bit worrying for them. West Ham will then be 4 points clear of relegation. Sheffield United will remain in 7th and open up a 4-point gap. And Leicester will hold on to that 3rd place, even though it will be quite tight. Thanks for watching, guys. That Burnley video will be out soon, and yeah, peace.